Okay, so if you look at that valuation form they sent you, there's going to be 3 or 4 comps, right?
Yes.
And are all of them are all of them have a similar listing amount, or is there maybe one that looks pretty good and then 2 are kind of average, and then the 4th or 5th comp that they put there is like listed at like $7,000 or several $1,000s lower than yours or than the other comps?
The first one, as I mentioned, the first comp is 76,000 miles, and the second and the third one is about 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
So the second one is 102,000, and the third one is 112,000.
So I would call those. I call those anchor comps. I call those comparable vehicles that are there to lower, to lower the value that they're going to offer you. So if you start maybe pushing back on some of that and say, hey, I think those comps are too low, and they're dragging down the true value of my vehicle. You can then start negotiating back to them, say, hey, this car is completely unacceptable, blah blah blah, because we're in that range where it might not make sense for you to invoke appraisal to pay the fee, but it might make sense for you to negotiate, maybe $500-$600 increase in your value, and that makes sense mathematically for you, right? And you just have to go back to them and say, I don't accept this, and this is why. Your comps have way higher mileage than mine, and here's a comp. And then if I were you, I would try to find a listing that's exactly the same as your vehicle that's in that range and justifies a higher value, right? Or even just say, hey, look, the one you have here at 12.7 or whatever the number is, that's my car. That's the closest comp to my car. I don't accept these other 2 comparable vehicles. If you remove these other 2 comparable vehicles and run this valuation based on the single comp and maybe my other one, then maybe it comes out to a number that makes sense, and you've increased your settlement by $600, $700, $800, and you're in the same spot as if you were to hire me on this particular case, right? Just because the margins are narrow, right? So that's what I would do if you were. I would recommend.
The second valuation, actually, because the first one that they sent me, it was way below. They sent me the first valuation. They sent me was around 10,500.
Okay.
And then after discussing back and forth, they did their evaluation, and they bring it to 11.2. At the beginning, it was 10.5.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna be on them about the comps. I'm still looking for it like around my area, so I could better present my argument with them.
Yeah, find some comps that look like your vehicle if you can. I did a little search, and maybe there's some more, but if you can get it up another $500-$600, I think you're in a sweet spot there, right? And so just ask them to remove those 2 comps that have super high miles and rate your vehicle fairly, and see what the number comes to. And it might just get to a number that makes it more sense mathematically, and kudos to you for already getting them up another $700. So that's good. That doesn't happen very often. So
yes. Do you think, well, they argue like there's these listings that are like way below way below our offer that we gave you, like 9,000 or 10,000 or 8,500. You think they're gonna lower their offer?
They might. They might. I mean, that's the scary part is, they'll never decrease their offer to you once they've offered you what they've offered you. But at this point, it's just a matter of you're just trying to squeak out an extra $500-$600 to get a settlement. And if you can convince them to do that, then I think you run with it. That makes more sense mathematically, because you're kind of in the same spot, whether you hire me or if you can get them up another few $1,000. Usually the people I take on as clients, I can justify my fee by at least double what I pay them or what they pay me, right? So if they pay me $500, $600, $700, they're going to see $1,000 to $1,200 to $1,400 increase at the bare minimum, and usually we average higher than that.
Yes. Sounds good. Thanks so much for your advice. I will talk to them again one more time.
Okay. Let me know how. I'll be interested to hear how. I'll be interested to hear how it goes, and I'll shoot you a little text message with a summary of what we just talked about and see if it maybe helps you.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right, my friend. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Yes, sir.